is my is my
Om Shanti. Before we start, let's spend a minute in silence and invoke the Divine Being. So welcome all of you to the Values for Life series episodes. Now we are in the second year. And we are so fortunate that Brother Brij Mohan Bhai Sahab is with us. Bhai Sahab, thank you so much for joining. And let me just tell you a few things in the background today. It is a big surprise for all of us. It's the divine plan, the divine coincidence. It's brothers Brij Mohan Bhai Sahab's 89th birthday. So a very happy birthday to you, Bhai Sahab. And we'll be having a big blast. We'll be celebrating it today. And we never had it in our mind that we'll be having on this day with us, Bhai Sahab with us. So it's all the divine plan. And incidentally, we have the 25th episode, which is the Silver Jubilee episode. So it's like another blast for us. So too many things happening at the same time. So, without much ado, I would just request the Vancouver team, Sister Claudia and Sister Anu, to proceed with the birthday cutting or the cake cutting. Sorry, over to you. Yeah.
We will ask everyone to keep themselves mute, please. So, yes, we'll start with Sister Claudia. Can you unmute yourself, sister?
Om Shanti, dear brother Brij Mohan.
Hold on, brother is just will wait for you.
Oh, Shanti, brother Brij Mohan, we're so happy to have you on this special day. So, as a token of respect and love for you, I offer you some red rose. Red rose means love. So we love you for all things that you bring for us, all the knowledge and everything. So please receive the flowers that all the values team is giving to you. Everyone is giving to you. Yeah, thank you for being with us. And of course, because it's your birthday, we like to see your cake. So we have a cake for you as well. So I would like to ask Anu to show the cake and let's do the candlelight of the cake as well.
Yes, let's bring the cake in virtually. I don't know, there is some echo. Which end?
I think Anu sister, because you are in two devices, so one has to be probably. I think. Yeah.
One is not connected with audio, so I think it is not from this end. Sure. Okay, no problem.
So let's do the
Vijwan
candlelight.
Bhaiji, we are so fortunate that today is your birthday and that to 89th birthday and we all are together here. So how can we miss it without celebrating? We have got really yummy cake. We'll actually also pass it on to you. We'll start with candle lighting.
So I think we all wish. You wish. And then you can do the ceremony, continue on.
So everyone, let's create the wish for Bhaiji in the heart. And as we wish, taking few seconds, then we blow the candle. I'm sure all of you have extended your loving wishes for Brijmon Bhai Sahab. And now let's blow the candle on behalf of brother. There you go. So we all can sing happy birthday
To you.
to you.
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday, dear Brij Mohan Bhaiji. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल ये गाए, बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल ये गाए, तू जिए हजारों साल, ये मेरी है आरज़ू. हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू, हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू, हैप्पी बर्थडे.
Okay, so after cake, definitely after candle, we want to offer the cake. So we'll cut the cake. So all of us join with me saying how we do traditionally. We say Om Shanti as we cut the cake. So let's all of us join together. Say, Om
Shanti.
Shanti. There you go. So this is for you, brother. So you can see. Thank you so much. Thank you to the divine for having this opportunity.
Okay. Right. Thank you. So thank you so much, Anu sister. I don't know why I am also now. It's echoing. I don't know. Is it clear, Nikhil bhai? Is it okay? Okay, fine. I'll just go ahead. Okay. So, Bhai Sahab, before we go ahead, after the celebration of the birthday, I'll just quickly do a few announcements and also introduce you, because there are quite a few people who are new to the group as well. So all of you have witnessed the birthday event. Fantastic, amazing, divine plan. And Bhai Sahab is with us. I must tell you, he's so committed, because despite having such a busy schedule today, and he was busy, jam-packed with so many programs at Om Shanti Retreat Center, he has taken out time for us. So an immense thanks for that to you, Bhai Sahab. Bhai Sahab is the additional Secretary General of the Brahma Kumaris, and currently he is joining us from ORC, Om Shanti Retreat Center. Today, as we celebrate his birthday along with our Silver Jubilee episode, let's pledge to develop the virtuous code, that using that code in our life, making it our daily mode. So with this, I would like to say another poem on Bhai Sahab. Bhai Sahab's life is full of giving, giving, and giving. You can see he's here with us. Doesn't matter, he's tired, but he's still with us. Giving, giving all the time. In his dealings, he's Bap Saman and forgiving. Bap Saman is equal to the Almighty. He's never bothered about the aches and pains of general ill health, because he's got these invaluable jewels of knowledge as his wealth, which he keeps on donating and sharing, which reflects his nature to be so caring. So we're all actually set to hear those invaluable jewels of knowledge on the virtue of farsightedness. Through this virtue of farsightedness, we can develop our own story and create a famous name in the history. The power of the Supreme then makes us achieve victory and reserves our
poder
right
do Supremo faz-nos alcançar vitória.
of rosary. I'm sorry, one of the translators has to mute themselves. If you all can just check who is that. Thank you. And lastly, by being far-sighted in my vision, I can now proceed on to my
Na minha
mission,
visão, eu posso prosseguir a minha missão,
because in my hands I have this powerful seed, which is away from the dust, dirt, and the weed. I shall be victorious and successful indeed, not having to think of what I need, because now I have won over my greed, and the Almighty has taught me how to do a good deed. So we are all just awaiting Bhai Sahab's talk, and before I give it on to him, I'll just make a few announcements. As you can see, a few housekeeping announcements. You all can click on the interpretation icon and choose the language which you want. And with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen. So over to Bhai Sahab. And Bhai Sahab, as usual, do you want to proceed with the talk fully, or you want it a question and answer session? Sorry, you have to unmute Nikhil Bhai, or you have to unmute Brother Brijman. Yeah, yeah.
I said questions and answer is better for me.
Okay, fine. So I'll start with the questions. So what we do is, thank you, Bhai Sahab. So as we did last time, we initially started with a few concepts on the virtue. And then after understanding those concepts, we then went into a few real lifetime examples. So I'll start with the first concept, Bhai Sahab, that what is the basic difference between farsightedness and foresightedness?
Well, they say, look before you leap, think before you speak. So, a far-sighted individual only can be foresighted.
Right. So as simple and as sweet as that, fantastic. So we'll go on to the next more complex questions. The next question is for far-sighted intellect, that's the Durandeshi Buddhi we call in Hindi. So to develop far-sightedness, we need to work on the intellect. So such an intellect should have what qualifications, Bhai Sahab?
First of all, we all, sisters and brothers, should bring before us the distinction between the far-sightedness of a worldly person and the far-sightedness of Baba's child. A body-conscious person can be far-sighted only up to the end of his present life. He can plan, think about what they say this person is very far-sighted. He will think about his old age and other things. So a body-conscious person's far-sightedness is very limited and different from the far-sightedness of Baba's child. Baba's child's far-sightedness goes to the whole kalpa. So when we have knowledge of the whole kalpa, then Baba's children have an understanding of the soul's role throughout the cycle, and not only in respect of time, but also in respect of space. That is to say, our three regions, as a soul, as an angel, and as a physical being. So this has to be taken into consideration. And now each child of Baba has been given the divine insight to be far-sighted. So this we should keep in mind while asking questions. So now please again ask your question.
Okay. Thank you, Bhai Sahab, for that. If I want to say about a few things about how my intellect should be. So as we had heard in one of the Murlis a few weeks ago, there were 4 basic qualifications of an intellect, which for Baba's children, we need to develop them more. So it was Vishal Buddhi, that is broad. I'll just speak out those 4 in Hindi as well. So Vishal Buddhi, that is broad-minded. Behad Buddhi, that is unlimited. Divya Buddhi, that is divine. And Hans Buddhi is swan-like. So do you want to explain each of these in detail?
Well, I will take up one of the most important, which includes all others, and that is divine intellect. Now, whether we are short-sighted or far-sighted, the most important thing is what type of intellect I have. If I have divine intellect, my sight will be benevolent, beneficial, and good for others, good for ourselves, good for everything. But if I don't have divine intellect, and my intellect has the vices, or impurities, then like virus in any computer, everything will go haywire and wrong. So you see, for example, in today's world, there are the wisest people who are developing nuclear weapons. So it takes a lot of intellect, a very minute intellect to develop a nuclear weapon. But what is their aim and object? You see, their intellect, it is so blurred that whatever they are producing is going to create end of the kalpa. So such type of farsightedness, Baba says, Vinash Kal Viprit Buddhi. You can translate it. And for Baba's children, it is Vinash Kal Prit Buddhi. So divinity of intellect, which Baba bestows on us, divine intellect, then other things, Hans Buddhi, Vishal Buddhi will follow.
Okay, great. So, a beautiful summary that how we can develop farsightedness by developing this virtue of divinity. So, thank you, Bhai Sahab. And as Bhai Sahab was saying, Vinash Kale, which means during the period of destruction, that is the process which we are going through. Very tough times. All of us have COVID. We have seen that. So during that time, if we have an intellect, which is Preet Buddhi, Preet means in love with the divine, it can really do miracles. So Bhai Sahab, at Brahma Kumaris, a lot of stress is given on these two words, which is mind and intellect, and maybe even sanskars. But more important is mind and intellect. So according to you, which is more stronger?
Well, these two are only functionaries. And you know, the one who's controlling these two is the sanskaras. The strength of between the two also depends upon the intensity of sanskaras. Now, if the sanskaras go in a particular direction, say a person has some sort of habit or addiction, inclination, then you know the intellect will work in favor of that only. And therefore mind will be subdued. So basic thing is that we have to see which way the sanskaras are leading me. Like an iceberg, you know, it is very little is apparent and rest of it is all down below. So in a sense, if we say that my mind has done this and my intellect has, they are only functionaries and controlled by the sanskaras. So basic so the basic requirement is change of the sanskaras. And for that, we can use both mind and intellect with attention.
Okay. So we'll go to another concept. When we hear the virtue of farsightedness, it really portrays about something to do with future. So there is a word which appears very commonly in the spiritual teachings is Trikaldarshi, that is knowing the three aspects of time. So I just wanted to ask you to tell us in detail about being Trikaldarshi, how to know the three aspects of time through Raj Yoga.
First, let me explain what I have said earlier. You know, if there is a tap and hot water is coming in that tap, so it is because the tank has got hot water. If it is dirty water, the tap will just give dirty water. If it is green water, so basic thing is the tank, which I meant to say sanskaras. Now, normally farsightedness means only looking toward the future. But people forget that our future also is dependent upon our past. So the past guides the future. So in the present, we can just change our future, the past, so that our future can go in the direction we want it. Now your question is about the word Trikaldarshi. So Trikaldarshi obviously means knowing the past, present and future. Here also past comes first. And Baba's children are blessed that they know the past, present, the future of the entire journey of their soul, not only our own soul, but also of the other souls in the world drama also. So this works like magic. So if we are active and attentive, we can recall. If you add to this, the drama is repetitive, that is everything in the cycle repeats, then we have got lot of power to focus on what we are doing. But you know, there are certain handicaps and there are certain disturbances in the process.
So thank you, Bhai Sahab, for explaining that and making us realize that the future is all dependent on the past as well. So we need to consider all these three aspects. Okay, another question is actually coming in the chat box. I'll take that later. But the question is, a far-sighted individual, usually they are visionaries and luminaries. They really build up big organizations and giant companies. And they have in their mind a set vision and mission. So do you want to tell us the differences between what is vision and what is mission?
Well, mission is the objective and vision is to reach that mission. So people, if you have a high mission, then you require that type of intellect, how to achieve that mission. And the way to do that is called vision. So people have got, in this also I want to tell you that in these days of specialization, people may be having vision in their, say, professional field, but they may not be so visionary in other aspects of their life. So there also, other aspects of life also influence one's conduct and vision. So there also, there are so many handicaps. So basic thing is that anyone, even a terrorist, for instance, he has got a mission. The terrorist has got a mission to go somewhere and say, plant a bomb. Now, the terrorist is so obsessed with that, he doesn't bother which mode he takes, how people are going about. He has focus mission. And so therefore, he doesn't require any vision. Because he is so focused on that, so he achieves it. But here, people have got vision. And now, you may have any nice fancy vision, but there are so many factors on the way which will not be able to enable you to achieve your mission. Say in corporates also, there are so many factors. They say money, material, machine, method, this and that. So marketing. So one of the factors causes disturbance. So, and then there are a lot of people, I may be a visionary, but other people who are to accomplish that mission, they may not be they may be very intelligent, but they may have ego problems and such like things. So that is why most missions are carried out through temptation, inducement, or such like things.
Okay, great. So it is a fantastic difference between what is vision and mission. I would want to again clear another concept which is taught in Raj Yoga, something about the third eye. Is it the same as the eye of far-sightedness? So if someone wants to develop far-sightedness, he needs to develop the third eye. So do you want to explain on that, Bhai Sahab?
Actually, we should not use the word farsightedness for ourselves. We should do Trikaldarshi. So, third eye, means divine intellect, which means uninterrupted and unpolluted. Divine intellect is like a magician's globe, and you can clearly see anything on it and accomplish whatever you want.
Okay. Another very humorous example is in Hindi we say soch samajh ke karam karna. I'll just translate in English that think, understand and then speak. But nowadays the trend is we have seen it a very reverse order. We just speak it out as a reaction to whatever is happening. Then we understand, oh, we should not have spoken those words. And then we keep overthinking. So is this because of lack of farsightedness or lack of foresight?
Well, first of all, it is wrong to lay down this formula. When things are happening in practical, nobody has time to first think and then do other things and then speak. One has to speak instantly. So whatever quality of intellect one has developed will come into play naturally. So therefore, if we want to improve, say, our speech, it not only requires some basics, it also requires practice. So unless we have practiced to the extent that we make it natural, then this formula is just a formula, it can't work. Because the situations will lead you to, up to the extent of your own empowerment, to use what words you have to use. So sometimes, a very cool person, a very person with lot of patience, anything may happen, but that person will keep his speed of talk. Take the instance of Gulzar Bhen. Now Gulzar Bhen was only focused on divine knowledge. So she didn't have superfluous knowledge of the world, what is happening here and what is happening there. So she could use very appropriate words in whatever situation. Anyone trying to instigate her, as we know about Dadi Janki also, when her test was taken, brain test, so they tried to use artificial instigation, this, that, inducements, and then, but still she had delta waves. So this depends upon a person's own state, and then one reacts to the situation according to one's empowerment.
So Bhai Sahab, there are many powers. We know there are 8 powers in Raj Yoga. So can you just tell us 1 or 2 powers which we should be developing in ourselves to become more farsighted?
Well, there is not a clear-cut, cut and dry answer to this, because each soul has certain powers to the full and certain powers which they require to develop. That is for each soul. But broadly speaking, Baba says that what you call Parakh Shakti. So that power has to be developed, and this comes with power of silence. The more and more, because power of silence is the mother of all powers, so the more we practice the power of silence and economize on all those things that we do, our thoughts, our speech, our other activity, then that power of discerning, or what I have said, Parakh Shakti. Because if we have Parakh Shakti, your first bird that was called Hans, so that enables us to instantly understand what to do, what not to do. So that solves most of the problem. For other purposes, what Baba says, samane ki shakti, the power to contain. That is also very important because like an ocean, you cannot set ocean on fire. Similarly, if one has the power to contain, then nobody can nothing will influence you. An ocean can contain all the rocks, all the things, big vegetation, whatever. It contains everything, and there are waves on the top of it. So therefore, that is very important. That means we will not react instantly. For everything, you have to withdraw. If you have to be safe, if you alight from a train also, you know what to do from a moving train. If you have to catch a ball, you also know that if you keep it flat, it will go. So you have to bring it back, and like that. So therefore, this power of containing and power of tolerance, these powers help it. But basically, silence power and develop through that the power to discern, they will help us a lot.
Okay, great. So the discernment power, the power to judge or decide, and even tolerance and accommodation. So so we have broadly actually finished the questions on the concept of understanding the concept of farsightedness. We'll take a few real life examples. So there is a question very commonly asked that having a far-sighted vision, I sent my son abroad for further studies. But soon he fell into bad company there, and he started misusing the money and even forgot about the studies. So was my decision wrong? I should not have sent him abroad.
Well, this is actually not far-sightedness. If the person was far-sighted, he would have taken into consideration all these factors beforehand. If I am sending my son abroad and I am an Indian, I know what type of Western culture is. So I will first arrange a good accommodation at good place to stay with some Indian family or this and that. And then also keep contact with my child very frequently. And like that, I will watch that person. So here, farsightedness was missing actually. That is why this happened.
Okay, great. So another example again from India, very pertinent to Indian circumstances, is while arranging marriages in India, because in India we have arranged marriages, people do a lot of research, matchmaking. They try to match the husband with the wife, the prospective husband and wife, whether they are really matching in their sanskars, etc., etc. But having done that, still many marriages fail in India as well. So a question is, how do we foresee successful marriages?
Well, in this imperfect world, where you cannot match two things perfectly, nobody can, there is no method to foresee a successful marriage. A successful marriage will depend, they say marriages are made in the heavens. So there is some sense in that because it is the sanskaras which play their part. And if the two souls come together, their sanskara, it will depend upon the sanskaras to have compatibility. And the sanskaras can also, they may be having divergent sanskaras, and the marriage may become successful. The thing is, the factor there is, earlier times, there was sort of durability, and there was love, and there was a family backing on both sides. There used to be a lot of interactions and family feeling in both the families. Now all those factors are missing. There are so many compulsions under which this marriage takes place. So it is likely that 80% of the marriages will go wrong because the times are such. In this world of today, any relationship, whatever you may have, that gets disturbed and become disharmonious. That is the effect of Kali Yuga becoming more and more tamopradhan. But our system earlier was to tell you the horoscope, this and that, so that they could foresee, and they used to see the backgrounds of the families also. If you try to go for a very rich family, then you may be suffering. Or if you go for, so everything, there are social things, there are so many factors. So that is why most people today prefer to remain single simply for the reason that that marriage will not be successful. So this is so far the BKs are concerned, so this is out of bounds for us. So why waste time on this question?
Yes, thank you, Bhai sir. Very practical answer. Okay, another question is, the brother is asking that should we invest in stock market, and how can we be far-sighted, because I want to make a lot of money, but then sometimes the markets goes up and down and I tend to lose money. So how do I increase my far-sightedness for investing in stock market?
Yes, Baba says there used to be many children who will buy a lottery ticket in the hope that Baba will help them to win the lottery and they will use that money for godly service. So Baba said that even the token money that you spend on the ticket itself goes waste. So don't bother for that thing and use that token little money for godly service that will bring you multi-millions. So the basic idea is for a BK to have share stock market as their profession. It is absolutely wrong, because even in other religions like Islam also say any type of this gambling is not allowed. It is considered a sin. So we should have some other profession where you require, normally many religions say, unless you put in some effort, your income cannot be called honest. And here you are just on the basis of your intellect and guesswork you are doing. So mostly first thing you buy there is worry. And as soon as things are going up and down, and Baba says you have to have a stable stage. So why you are getting into this? I think it is not far-sightedness to think of going into stock market.
Fantastic. So it basically says anything which makes us unstable should be away from our mind and thought. Okay, so the next question is a very personal question for you, Bhai Sahib, and now I'll go in a few personal questions. It is, a sister is asking, it's a BK sister actually. She's saying that Brahma Kumaris, all of us know it's an international organization where sisters run the organization and they are in the forefront, and brothers are more behind and they are the backbones. So she's asking that being in such a position as a brother, how do you use your ability of farsightedness to run the dealings with them?
Dealings with sisters?
Dealings with everyone, sisters and brothers equally in the organization.
Well, I keep to the Lakshman Rekha of my role, that I am a brother. I have to remain on the backside, and it has given me very good results. If you want me to elaborate, well, there is something called the face of the organization, the face of the political, or who will be the prime minister when they fight elections. So Baba has made sisters as the face of the organization. And there is a lot of sense in that. I need not go into details. So whatever we want to do, we do it through sisters. That's all. what is meant by this. So we are brothers and sisters are very compatible. And Baba says Pandavas are powerful and they are victorious. Not that the sisters are not, sisters are doubly. So here I keep my role as at the background, just as now Baba says, I am your backbone. So I keep my role on the backside, hindsight, and then everything goes well. I have never met any VIP without taking a sister. I have never signed a letter from Brahma Kumaris. In my name, I always get signature of the sisters. I take sisters to the various places, public places, and I get also respect because sisters are generally, so many things are there. So there is no sort of clash or competition. So Baba has very, it is divine wisdom that the brothers should remain in the background. And I am following it in toto and am very comfortable and feel very blissful.
Wow, great. Thank you for just elucidating those points. And Bhai Sahib, you have been a chartered accountant by profession, and 17 years you have worked in the Fertilizer Corporation of India as a CA. So do you have any practical examples where you have used farsightedness in your Lokik profession?
Well, I use farsightedness throughout. I am still a chartered accountant and I am handling Baba's finances in Madhuban. Baba gave me so much farsightedness that this looked like a plaything, and our big corporation had 8 chartered accountants. They were divided, given work, and when my senior came to visit my office and he saw that I was only reading newspaper, he thought that I have no work. So he changed my department. Again, after 3 months, he visited again. I was reading newspaper. He was surprised. Then he called me and said, how is it? How do you do your work? So I told him that I don't use ego. I don't ask my juniors to put up a note that I put up a better note on that and so on. I call my junior and tell him, discuss with him what to write. He writes. And for 15 minutes, I take all the files to my boss. I discuss with him. And after lunch, I complete my notes. So I had got a written letter of appreciation that your submission is very quick. So this is how, Baba children, say if you have to go from Delhi to New York, what is Bombay to you? It is the first station only. So like that, farsightedness means that small thing you can do much quicker and easier.
Okay.
It helped me a lot.
Okay, so at this juncture, I would want you to give us a few examples of the founder father, Brahma Baba, and the mother whom we say Jagdamba Mama. So do you have any examples whereby they showed their farsightedness and you got inspired from those examples?
Well, their whole life is exemplary. Why pick up 1 or 2 examples? So they are our foundation. I was blessed to have got some sustenance from them, and each act of theirs taught something, and that is helping me a lot today. So anyone to quote 1 or 2 examples will only mean like, celebrating festivals, that these are the important things. No, just that there is no festivals in golden age, there is no individual, any incident, because the whole thing is full of that.
Great. Now, since that's perfect.
Not to disappoint you, I can tell you one example.
Yes, please.
That the mother came to New Delhi, and she stayed in one of the newly built centers for the night. I was there to look after the mother. There were others also. So mother, bed was made for her and she slept there. In the morning, I saw that there was no wrinkle on the bed sheet at all, just as some angel has been put there and it has got up. So from there, I learned that how many wrinkles are there in my bed sheet. So what my thought process is and why these wrinkles are there, how many times I turn sides. So I learned that this is a peaceful soul. So like that, from every, like a hero actor, every action of the hero actor has got some quality. The hero actor may be taking tea only, but people will watch him. So there is some sort of kala. So similarly, their whole life was full of that. That's why I'm not narrating. Okay.
No problem. Thank you so much for giving that example. We are happy with whatever you're sharing, Bhai Sahab.
Okay.
Other thing is, since you spoke about the golden age, there are a few questions on golden age, that the deities, the Devi Devtas in the
Yes.
golden age, are they far-sighted?
Well, there is no need for them to be far-sighted. Actually, far-sightedness, just as they say, guided missiles in misguided hands are very dangerous. So this word far-sightedness is not required there. In fact, today's people, what they call knowledge explosion, information explosion and all that, is we think wrongly that we are becoming more far-sighted. I know what is happening in news, but it is not wrong. So if a person is confined to his life and had got all the requisites and has all the blessings and does, that person is the most blessed. So therefore, looking from that angle, you don't require far-sightedness. Once you have got the divine intellect, it will come to help you at every second. So forget the word far-sightedness. We are lucky that Baba has given us the insight. Others don't have it. So that is why any type of far-sightedness today has its flaws and handicaps.
Okay, thank you, Bhai Sahab. I'll take a few questions from the chat box. A very interesting question is, at Brahma Kumaris, it is said that destruction is inevitable. So if we are able to foresee destruction now, that will make me feel more and more disturbed. So how do I deal with such things? Should I be far-sighted and see destruction now?
It is far-sighted to understand that this destruction is a blessing in disguise. Understand destruction in the whole context, and then this disturbance will turn into peace.
Right. What are some of the factors that block our far-sightedness?
Yes, that is our own leanings, inclinations, addictions, like that. So they block because we have the sight to look ahead, but we don't want to do that. We want to see what is nearest to me. That is to say, having limited thinking. So you may have the capacity to be far-sighted, but just as clouds come before the sun, temporarily it looks like dark. So such will be the situation for a person who has farsight and doesn't use when required. I will give you a classic example. Say Maya is coming from a distance, coming fast towards you, and you have got both a pistol and a cannon. So you see the Maya coming and you start using the pistol and go on shooting, but you know the Maya pistol has a small range. and the Maya will still go on coming forward, and then you suddenly get frightened, and when it is very close, you use a cannon. So the cannon ball goes far ahead, and so Maya it doesn't get finished through the pistol, because when I had to use cannon, I used the pistol, and when I had to use pistol, I used the cannon. Okay?
Thank you. Another question is, what are the practices which Bhai Sahib has developed to strengthen the divine intellect?
Now, this is the last question, number one. And number two, our daily service and the daily routine that Baba has given us, and anything in the drama that comes before me, helps me to use the divine intellect. And just like a knife is sharpened if it is regularly used, so it is helping me like that, because divine intellect has the capacity to turn both unfavorable and favorable conditions in one's favor. So that is the beauty of it. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Bhai Sahib. And before we leave you, we'll just do a quick thanksgiving by Dr. Ashok Mehta. So I would
Yes.
just involve Dr. Ashok. I would request him to just come. Yeah, over to you, Dr. Mehta. Yeah. You have to unmute yourself, Dr. Mehta. Yeah.
I think he's in Madhuban, Mount Abu.
Yeah, he's in Gyan Sarovar at his residence. Nikhil Bhai, if you can just unmute Dr. Mehta, is it possible as a host?
Yes, I'm doing unmute here.
Okay, okay. I don't know. Anyway. So maybe, yeah. Okay.
You are muted again, so you have to unmute. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm unmuted. I'm in Gyan Sarovar, Brisbane, Bhaiji, and I've enjoyed the analysis of words with you so beautifully. As a surgeon, I find it a little difficult in the sense that I feel there's more physicians' work to analyze the things. We go straight down to the business and cut it. Anyway, I think it's been such an enjoyable experience to listen to various facets of different words. I think all of us enjoy the beautiful analytic mind that you have, and the sharpness with which you answer Manoj Bhai. I think it's been a pleasure to listen to. Thank you very much for sharing your vast experience, both of the divine knowledge as well as a practical experience as an administrator. Thank you very much, sir. Om Shanti.
So thank you so much, yeah, Dr. Mehta. And we won't keep you waiting, Brijman Bhai Sahib. Claudia sister, if you can just say a quick word of thanks, and then we will bid goodbye to Dr. Brijman Bhai Sahib. Claudia sister, are you? Yeah.
Thank you, Brij Mohan Bhai. We don't want to take more your time. I'm sure that you are a little bit tired because of so many parties we have today, commemorations for your birthday. So we really enjoy, and thank you for everything. Thank you from the heart.
Thank you so much, Bhai Sahib. So So yeah, what we'll do, Anu sister, is you can just do the announcements and then Sister Claudia can do the closing meditation for us, okay? After the announcements. Over to you, Anu sister.
Thank you, Manoj brother. Yeah, quickly, I'll take you all through the announcements, the upcoming programs. So the very next one is our values workshops on farsightedness, as we always do, to strengthen this value in our practical life. So for that, we'll have experiential exercises and a very special guest, Sister Jenna from USA. It's happening on 6th November, Saturday, evening 7:30 p.m. India time and 7 a.m. That makes it 7 a.m. for West Coast, US, Canada. So please note. And also we'll have the spiritual significance of Deepavali, because that is the festival we have. So what is the spiritual significance of it? With our very dear senior sister Shilu Didi. So it is on 7th November, Sunday, evening 8 p.m. for India time. And that makes it 6:30 a.m. for West Coast, US, Canada, and 9:30 for East Coast. So please note that daylight savings time change is happening the same day, 7th of November. So please note. And our continuing with Values for Life series, the next episode is on royalty. That is Shalinta. For that, we'll have our very sweet sister Santosh Didi from St. Petersburg, Russia. And it's happening again after 2 weeks, Saturday, 13th of November. Time is slightly changed in order to adjust with the time change that the western part of the world will accommodate. So the time is 8:30 p.m. for India. That makes it 7 a.m. for West Coast and 10 a.m. for East Coast. And also it is 2 a.m. for 2 p.m. for 3 p.m. for UK. And of course, you will get all the information of the joining links for all these programs on our website. Please visit vihasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. You can also visit our YouTube channels to get all the videos of these programs. Thank you very much.
So I would now request Sister Claudia to conduct the meditation on farsightedness. Over to you, Sister Claudia.
Om Shanti. Let's take a moment and focus within on the forehead where my soul is sitting. I, the soul, came to this body, and one day I'll leave this body. I take this moment to see my whole life. I see my past, I see my present, I see my future. My future depends on my present. So I think, when I leave this body, what am I taking with me? What am I leaving behind? What qualities people will remember when I was in this body? I can see a very good picture of my life. Not in a physical level, at the spiritual level. Everyone has a journey, and the journey is never stopped. Keeps moving forward, forward. And with my third eye, the eye of I the soul, I can make a plan to move to the next life with a very good background of this present life. That will bring me joy and happiness, that this life and my next life will be peaceful, happy, and content. I will never forget. My future depends on my present. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
So thank you so much, Sister Claudia, for the beautiful experience of meditation. And
can we still do a meditation song? Sorry, give me.
sorry, go ahead, Anu, sister, you were saying something?
I think we'll still play a music.
Okay.
Okay, we finish?
I think, yes, because it's done, so. Okay, yeah.
Oh, Shanti,
Thank
see you
you,
again.
Shanti, all of you. Thank you.